Have you ever pondered why flood myths pervade so many diverse cultures around the world? It's a question that has fascinated scholars and lay people alike. In our quest for answers, we'll explore two key narratives that have captured the imagination of millions: the ancient Mesopotamian myths and the biblical account in Genesis. Both tell tales of a great deluge, yet their origins, purpose and meaning diverge in intriguing ways. We'll delve into the depths of these stories to unravel the similarities and the stark differences. The Mesopotamian flood myths, tales spun centuries ago, are filled with intrigue and drama. These ancient narratives, etched in cuneiform tablets, tell a tale that reverberates through time, echoing in the hearts of those who hear it. Among these myths, the Epic of Gilgamesh is perhaps the most renowned. It paints a vivid picture of a world on the brink of annihilation, beset by the whims of capricious deities. The gods, in their divine council, decide to flood the earth and wipe out humankind. Yet one man, Utnapishtim, finds favor with the god Ea, who reveals the divine plan. Utnapishtim, much like Noah in the biblical account, is tasked with building an enormous ship, a vessel meant to endure the onslaught of the divine flood. He gathers his family along with a host of animals and boards the ship, leaving behind a world marked for destruction. As the heavens open and the earth is submerged, Utnapishtim and his entourage bear witness to a world undone, a spectacle of divine wrath and power. Yet their ship survives, and eventually they find themselves on dry land once more. Utnapishtim, having saved humanity from total extinction, is granted immortality by the gods, a reward for his obedience and wisdom. The Epic of Gilgamesh is a compelling narrative, a tapestry of human emotion, divine interaction, and cosmic disaster. Yet, it's important to remember the context in which these myths were told. They were not historical accounts or divine revelations, but stories spun for entertainment, subject to the whims of the storyteller, embellished and altered over time. While these stories weave a spellbinding narrative, they were primarily intended for entertainment, subject to embellishment and changes. Contrastingly, the Genesis account stands as a timeless, unchanging record. As we delve into the Genesis narrative, we find an account that is far from a mere tale. It carries an air of divine inspiration, a story woven by the hand of God himself. Let's explore this further. The Genesis flood narrative starts with a world steeped in wickedness, where the heart of every human was bent on evil continually. It was such a dire situation that it grieved God's heart. But amidst this gloom, there was a beacon of righteousness, a man named Noah. Noah found favor in the eyes of God, and it was to him that God revealed his plan to cleanse the earth. God instructed Noah to build an ark, a refuge for his family and pairs of every living creature. Despite the monumental nature of this task and the ridicule he likely faced, Noah obeyed. He displayed an unwavering faith in God, a faith that would save him and his family from the impending deluge. Then came the flood. For 40 days and 40 nights the heavens opened and the earth was submerged. Every living thing that moved on earth perished, save for those aboard the ark. Noah, his family, and the creatures with them remained safe, protected by the ark and God's promise. And when the waters receded, God set a rainbow in the sky, a sign of his covenant with Noah and all of creation. God promised that never again would he destroy the earth by a flood. This covenant, signified by the beautiful arc of a rainbow, is a testament to God's mercy and faithfulness. The Genesis account, unlike the Mesopotamian myths, is seen as a faithful historical record, not just a tale told for amusement. It is a narrative that highlights the righteousness of God's judgment, the importance of obedience, and the immensity of divine mercy. It stands as a beacon of truth amidst stories and myths, a testament to the divine inspiration that sets it apart. At a glance, these narratives may seem similar, but upon closer inspection, the differences become glaring. In the Mesopotamian myths, gods are portrayed as capricious and volatile, causing the flood out of anger and spite. They are depicted as beings to be feared, not loved. On the other hand, in the Genesis account, God is portrayed as a loving and just creator. The flood is not an act of whimsy, but a response to the corruption and wickedness that had taken hold of humanity. Furthermore, in the Mesopotamian narratives, there are multiple survivors of the flood, chosen arbitrarily by the gods. Contrarily, in Genesis, there is only one family of survivors, Noah's family. They are chosen not by chance, but because of Noah's righteousness and obedience to God. The aftermath of the floods also differs significantly. In the Mesopotamian myths, the survivors offer sacrifices to appease the gods and are met with regret from the gods for their hasty decision to flood the earth. In Genesis, there is no regret from God. Instead, the survivors, Noah and his family, offer sacrifices in gratitude and receive a covenant from God. He promises never again to destroy the earth with a flood, marking this promise with the sign of a rainbow. The Mesopotamian myths, seen as entertainment, were subject to embellishment and editing. In contrast, Genesis is viewed as a faithful and unchanging historical record inspired by God himself. These differences underscore the uniqueness of the Genesis account, distinguishing it as a divinely inspired historical record. As we've seen, the flood myths of different cultures are more than mere coincidences. They reflect a shared human experience, a collective memory of a world-altering event. Yet, among these narratives, the Genesis account stands apart. It's not a tale spun for entertainment, subject to the whims of embellishment and editing. Instead, it is a faithful, unchanging historical record, a divine narrative that has withstood the test of time. We've delved into the Mesopotamian myths, compared and contrasted them with the Genesis account, and found critical differences that distinguish Genesis as a unique, inspired account. We've also refuted the documentary hypothesis, concluding that Genesis wasn't composed over a long period and influenced by the flood myths, but rather provides a true historical record of the early history of the world. In the face of these flood narratives, the Genesis account shines as a beacon of truth, a testament to the unchanging Word of God.